Hello snowboarders of the internet, I'm your host Avran LeFeber, and in this video we're going to be reviewing the Nitro Phantom binding. I rode this binding at Arapahoe Base on a day that was overcast with low to high visibility, snow at times, colder temps, about a foot of fresh snow that had kind of gotten chopped out due to the powder panic that had ensued in the morning. You had chopped chunder, frozen chop and chunder under the fresh snow, perfect corduroy, lumpy corduroy, kind of just a mix of all conditions for a late spring pow day, and I rode it on my Ride Shadow Band snowboard with my K2 Thraxis boots. You have two screws at the base of this binding that you can loosen to pull out or push the heel cup in. That way, if you need to center it a little more forward or a little more back based on the size of your boot, you can do that. Moving up from there, we get to the high back, which has a little bit of rotation ability in there. So you loosen these screws and you can rotate that high back to make it parallel with the heel edge. You also have a forward lean tab. So basically you flip it down, slide it up, slide it down, lock it into place, you're good to go. On the heel straps, you have a flip tab on the toe and the heel. So you pop it up, you can lengthen or shorten the heel strap wherever you need it to be. And then on the toe strap, you have a push pin system, push it down, slide it back, pull it up, or push it down, slide it forward, pull it up, just to help center that on your boot. Finally, you can adjust the toe ramp just a little bit with that foot pad by moving it forward or backwards off of the screw in the center. The big story with the Phantom is that they replaced the heel strap. This has the 3D OptiFrame Flex strap. This is a one-piece molded strap versus the multi-piece sewn together strap that had padding in it. This removes the padding so that your boot provides it all, and it allows it to contour over your instep. It stretches and tightens down so it allows it to freely flex, but it still gives you that response straight from the boot. You're gonna notice how reactive and responsive it is when you drive into it. With the toe strap, you have the Uber Grip toe strap with Vibram. This is going to lock over the toe of the boot and keep you held down. That cutout fits a multitude of boot shapes. You do not have to worry about whether you got a bulky boot, a pointy-toed boot, or a snub-nosed boot. It's going to fit in there and keep you locked down. Like their other straps, where the ratchets actually connect to it are elevated a little higher. This kind of changes the placement. It, in my opinion, moves it up a little higher so it reduces any pressure points even when you overly crank it down. These work. They climb well. You can really torque it, grab onto it, and get it to just climb up the ladder. The one finger quick release works exactly how you want. You stay locked in. I didn't have any problems with these. The only thing that I would note is that if you did break a ratchet to remove it from the strap, you have to remove the locking cleat piece. You basically have to lift it up to get a little number 2 screwdriver in there to loosen it up. Gonna be a pain in the ass, but that's only if you actually break the ratchet. If you're one of those people that doesn't break that shit, good for you. If you do, why are you breaking them? That's the question we want to know. All right, are you enjoying this review? Cool, you know what would be awesome? If you go down and click the thumbs up. Why? Because it helps feed the algorithm. While you're down there, why don't you subscribe, click the bell, get those notifications. That way you're not missing any of the videos we got coming out for all you snowboarders of the internet. This is an anatomically shaped high back, so it's a little bit higher on the inside, a little bit lower. This is gonna give you a little more tweakability on the outside, but it's gonna give you a little more response on the inside. It's a bit of a stiffer high back that pretty much starts after the little cutout here down. You're gonna notice that when you drive into it, you can feel that response. The forward lean adjustment is very easy to use. You flip it up, you slide it down, you slide it up, you lock it into place, it works. These do have a little bit of a more narrow cut to them, so this will get it out of the way if you're tweaking grabs or you're really like buttering around on your board or just driving into a hard turn as well. The overall binding flex of this sits at the top of the line for all mountain versatility or at the lower end of the spectrum for all mountain free ride capabilities. It is a stiffer binding, and even though it has a mini disc, it is very responsive. You notice that the lateral roll in this binding still gives you power. You get a lot of lateral drive, and then when you're driving into the straps or into the high back, you feel that power as well. Like I said, stiffer binding that's very responsive. It reacts to movements. You just feel so fluidly locked in with this new heel strap right into that heel cup that all the power is there. When you want to go on your toe edge, bam, you're on your toe edge. You want to go on your heel edge, bam, you're on your heel edge. You're driving a hard carve, you're flexing from the center of the board, pushing your knee in, you're gonna feel that power on the inside of the binding as well as the outside when you shift your weight back out. Overall, very responsive binding, not crazy stiff, but on the stiffer side. Holy crap, is this binding damp and smooth. You've got a responsive binding, which is great. It doesn't feel so damp that it's just lifeless. Like, you've got that response, but any kinetic energy, any chatter coming from the nose of the board is dissipated before it goes up into the bottom of your foot, into your ankles, your knees, your hips. It's gone. You can just run over a washboard of packed out crap and you feel fine. Your feet do not get that fatigue. This binding is designed to just dampen, and it does. It does it exceptionally well. Like, I had no problems riding through chopped out POW at the end of the day. I could just point it and be like, yeah, this is smooth. I'm not feeling a thing. This is absolutely amazing. I even said that to TC because he was like, man, you're just charging straight in there. And I was like, I can't feel a thing underneath. Like, my knees feel because they have to bend from just those impacts, but my feet were not taking that hammering at all. Rider in mind. So who is this binding for? This binding is for the rider that likes to charge, has bad knees, needs solid dampening and stability with a smooth ride and good response. Like what we're doing? Want to support us further? Swing on over to Angry Snowboarder VIP and become a member. Sure, I could tell you more here, but I got a video over there that explains it so much better. Changing the strap on this binding was amazing. The response got better, which this was already a responsive binding, but it got better. And now you feel really locked into this binding and your power dynamic of how you drive your board is there. It's smooth, it's damp, it's responsive, it's everything an older rider could possibly want. Comparable bindings: the Bataleon Astro Full Wrap, the Rome Cleaver, the Jones Apollo. This has been my review of the Nitro Phantom binding. If you're buying a pair and you need to know how to dial them in, go watch my video on that. You know you want to.